Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of how does tax work as a day trader or an investor. You know, you guys have been spamming the comments part 2, part 2, part 2. A little bit more in depth of how to get everything set up. In this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly the process of both situations, you know, under trust as well as a private company, the easiest way to get it done, as there's a lot of other ways to get it done, but this is the way that my company set up. Again, it's just a disclaimer, you know, you will need someone professional to do this for you, but these simple steps that I'm going to show you is quite simple and easy to understand, right? It is very informative. Make sure to watch the full video if you want to get everything correct. And I'm going to be explaining how to connect it to the broker, what's the best broker to use in terms of this system. As I've used multiple different brokers, I'm going to get into this video. I'm going to explain everything in detail for you. What are the benefits for both if you're under trust or if you're just under a private company? Which is easier to set up? What is better long term? What are the benefits, etc., etc. So let's just jump straight into this video. So how does tax work for day traders in SA Part 2? Okay, so obviously you guys wanted to take a look at the different companies, you know, the setups, you know, either it's just a normal private company or the trust owns the business. Now, I'm going to get into the business benefits of the trust owning the business, and then I'm going to get into the benefits of a normal private company, you know, connected to the broker, right? And I will say that the benefits are pretty similar. Obviously, the trust has a little bit more involved, but again, I'm not going to get into how to set up a trust, as I don't know the full on details with that. I did go in a bit of detail in my previous video. If you want to go check that out one more time, I went over it and what is required of you, but you still will need someone professional to set that up for you as well. So I'm just going to go over some of the benefits. So number one, asset protection. If the company is owned by the trust, the shares aren't in your personal name. This means creditors and lawsuits against you personally usually can't touch the company's assets. It helps protect family wealth from divorce claims, businesses risk, or personal liability. So basically, I mean, if you so happen get hit by, you know, some lawsuit or whatever the case may be, all your assets, including your properties, you know, your cars, as well as your funds that was in the trust, cannot be touched, which is really, really cool, you know. And then 2, estate planning and succession. When you pass away, the company doesn't get stuck in your estate. The trust continues to own it. Avoiding delays, estate duty or dispute. You can decide through the trust deed or future generations benefit on who takes control. So basically, you know, if your company, if you so happen to pass away, you know, your company is owned by the trust, and the trust gets just passed on to the next, you know, beneficiary, basically, so that there's no cost, there's no, you know, the person needing to buy the company out from, you know, your death or you being passed away. It's just a really cool thing to have, and it definitely does help, right? A trust can distribute income to multiple beneficiaries like family members at different tax brackets. The flexibility can reduce overall tax liability if structured properly. It may also reduce estate duty since the company is in your personal estate. Okay, so basically, as I was saying, when pulling profits from your business and pushing it up to your trust, you can diversify those profits into other, you know, family members. And that means, between you and me, it doesn't mean those family members have to utilize those money. You can put the account underneath their name and push it into those accounts, so your tax is way, way less than, you know, just paying your normal company tax, if I could put it like that. So trust, there's a lot of benefits to it because you can push up the dividends to your trust from your company's profits and then diversify that into your family members as well as yourself's accounts, which makes the profit a lot less, as well as your taxes will be a lot less. And again, as I said, I mean, those other accounts of your family members does not mean they have to be spending that money. It can be your family member that you trust, that you're just sending money to, so that you're able to spend that money to. And of course, maybe just give them a little bit of cash, you know, they are using it underneath their name. So anyways, the next one, control. You can still manage the business and trustees, directors Even if you're not the owner, on paper, this ensures the company carries on even if something happens to you. Beneficiaries like your children or family can receive benefits without needing to actively run the business. Okay, so let's say your business gets to a point where your investments are making good capital. Obviously, this is in terms of other businesses. Well, if you want to, again, the beautiful thing about opening a trust is, one, you can have a day trading side of thing, and then you can also have like an e-commerce brand or a BPO or whatever the case may be, other business models out there that you can those businesses can be owned by the trust. If you have a family member that is a beneficiary to your trust and owns all these different business models, they're trading, investing, the e-commerce, whatever the case may be, that's easy to just actively keep the companies running, and profits will keep on going into the trust, and you can have someone that's managing it too. So it's a very, very simple process, and you'll usually have someone that is managing your trust once it gets to a certain revenue point. If it's very, very small, ideally not really important, but if you are earning over 3-4 million a year, and you're having an accountant, obviously accountants you will need for both private company or trust, but someone just to manage it effectively and actively is another cost that you'll have if you get to that point. Wealth preservation prevents reckless spending or splitting up of the business assets among heirs, ensures the business remains intact as family legacy. You can put rules in trust deed about reinvestment, dividends, or selling the business. Okay. And then last one, flexibility and privacy. Unlike a will, which becomes public after death, a trust is private. Decisions on how the business is managed and who benefits to stay confidential. It gives flexibility to adjust distributions over time, unlike fixed inheritance. So it's pretty nice. Now, just going to the brief rundown of the benefits of a normal company. Lower tax rate. Again, obviously, this is also effective within the trust owning the business, but this is, again, the difference between the trust owning the business and then just the business being, underneath your portfolio and the trust doesn't own it. So again, similar benefits. This will also apply to the business being owned by the trust. So low tax rate versus personal income, as we discussed that. Business expenses deduction running through trading through a company allows you to deduct more legitimate expenses, software, internet, offices. We did go over this, the benefits of it. Limited liability if trades go wrong or there are issues, losses, or ring fenced inside the company. Your personal assets, house, car, etc., are more protected compared to trading as an individual. Okay, capital growth, retained earnings. A company can keep profits inside and reinvest without triggering extra personal tax. This allows you to compound capital at a lower tax rate. As an individual, every year's profit is taxed as an income, limiting the compounding power. 5, structuring and investors. Having a private company makes it easier to bring in partners, investors, or selling equity later on. Let's say your company or your assets within your allocations in the long-term stock portfolio is worth something. You can actually sell your company to the value of your position holdings, and sometimes a little bit more, because sometimes people buy these positions at lower entries at a lot higher cost than what you would just get out of the profits as well. But you can also run multiple revenue streams, trading and investing under one entity, which is really, really cool. Flexible payout options. You don't need to draw all your profits into your personal name immediately. Instead, you pay yourself a salary or dividends at the right time for tax efficiency. As I said in my previous video, if you guys take a look at what I was saying, remember to avoid, paying so much tax on massive withdrawals, you can actually plan it out. That's why the beautiful thing about having a broker's like a bank. You don't have to trade all the capital. You can leave the money in there and withdraw it when needed to your business account so that you can have tax efficiency, right? This lets you control effective personal tax bracket, okay? Easiest way for both companies. Now, a lot of guys were asking, okay, cool, what is the best way to set up a trust with the broker? What is the best way to set up a private company with the broker too? So now, obviously, what I recommend, I've done this with multiple different brokers, and some are easy, some aren't. Some are a bit tedious, and they are wanting a lot more information. It just makes it a lot more difficult. So I'm going to be explaining the broker that I'm using. I've recommended, and I will leave the link in my bio as well to this. Just the easiest way to set it up, but I will be explaining the more, let's say, corporate-y way in terms of setting up the account and the business account with a broker too. So again, both processes do take a little bit of time, but the easiest process is obviously with the way that I'm going to be explaining now, and then the hard process. So again, depending on what broker you use, some people might not allow it, some brokers might not allow it, but the broker that I use, and with my assistance, if you are wanting to set something up like this, I mean, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'll leave the link to my Instagram or Calendly link to book a call with me to help you set this up, as I got good connections with the broker as well. If you don't have an IB that you're working with and don't even know how to set up this whole system, it can be a bit of a tedious process. So it's just easier for you if you follow these instructions, right? So I use obviously HFM, so I'll leave a link in the bio in this video to sign up with the HFM. Click that, you obviously log in, so you'll say register here, and then you'll register an account, right? So you'll put your email or phone number. Don't put your email, put your phone number, and then obviously create a password. You got a referral code as well. Make sure to put the referral code at 342965. The reason being for this, yes, so this is my affiliate code, and that's transparent, but I've discussed with my account management, for anyone that is setting up a company and that wants assistance, he's going to be on it within after this video too. So you guys can message me so that it's just an easier process. I mean, it's going to take a lot longer if you're not connected to him, as that's the main importance. So put in the referral code, right? Then basically personal details, first name, last name, mail, country of birth, email. Also important, set up a business email for the company that you've just registered, okay? Whether it be trust or the business, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Set up the email, not your personal email, set up your business email, okay? It's another important factor. I'm not going to get into it now, but you can just imagine, right? Date of birth, obviously, very, very simple. Okay, next step, when setting up a bank account and sending bank statements to verify your account and business details, a very crucial point. When verifying your account, okay, when verifying your trading account, you need to submit your statements of your business banking details, okay, and then your account, proof of account is important as well to set that up. And then obviously, when setting up the withdrawal status, you're going to be utilizing that business account. So this is just minimizing all of this process, and we're going to show you a bit of setting up a whole corporate account within the broker, because it is a bit of a tedious process, okay? What this allows you to have an individual account, so basically setting up an individual account but using the business banking details. And again, some brokers don't allow this, but I know if you are doing it with me and HFM, you'll be able to utilize this, as I've done it for myself, okay? But withdrawing to your business account, which is really, really cool. Long but other options. So setting up a company, let's say a corporate account underneath the broker, what you will need. So we have to, and this is a long process. I mean, it takes about a month too. I got both of them going. As for my fund that I'm currently running, the legacy fund, the long-term fund, that is underneath a corporate account. And then my business, my normal business account where I'm withdrawing profits from my own trading, it will be set up this previous way that I just showed you. So it does work. I mean, I'm still paying the tax that I've explained to you on the previous video, but this is just a longer process if you want to be more corporate-y and a little bit more business when in terms of signing up that account. Okay, so what you'll need is a CIPC, tax certificate, ID, proof of account, and LEI number. Most people don't even know what that is. So obviously CIPC, remember in my previous video I said you must sign up and register an account. You should have core 14.3, right? And that's the most important thing. Then number 2 will be tax certificates. Okay, how to get a tax certificate with your bank. It's pretty simple. Online via email, e-filing, easiest way. Log into your SARS e-filing account, go to your tax status, tax compliance status, select request tax compliance status, choose the type, good standing, tender, foreign investment, immigration. I would choose either, if you are a foreigner and you're living overseas, possibly use foreign investment, or just use normal good standing. It's perfectly fine too. Submit the request. If you're compliant, your certificate will be available immediately. You can print the email and certificate on your phone and get PIN. And this is just another option. So basically you want to get that tax certificate and you want to have this on hand when we are setting up the corporate account. Okay, number 3, obviously that is your ID. I mean, pretty straightforward. Number 4, it's literally just a proof of your account, and that you can be sorted out with your business account that you've just received, and getting the proof of account. So that's the next thing, the long part. This is such a tedious process that takes really, really long and takes about a month almost to apply, but sometimes a bit shorter depending on how busy you are. So I'll leave the link for the LEI registration number in this description as well. So basically you'll go to the website, you'll see this. Now, before I get into how to set it up, why do you need an LEI number and what is it? So LEI number is a 20-character code based on iOS 17442 standard developed by the International Organization of ISO. An LEI number refers important information that offers transparency when participating in financial transactions such as trading with stocks, bonds, or forex. Okay, so it is very important if you're wanting to go to the corporate route, and this would be the same situation if you're setting up to even trade, maybe invest, etc., for the long term, and you don't want to. You want to divert away from paying so much tax, and you will need to sort this out with any platform that you'll be using, like Equity Edge. So it is important if you want to go into the stock side of things. That's why I said I have this thing sorted out as well for my long-term portfolios, etc. But my normal day trading account, other than my fund, is set up the first way. What information is identifiable with an LEI number? You can give it take if you want to pause and read. I'm not going to go through everything. What is the purpose of an LEI number? The purpose of an LEI is therefore simple. It helps you recognize legal entities free of charge on a global accessible database. The result is more security around international transactions, shortcuts to know your customer, KYC process, and a boosted transparency throughout the global financial system. Okay, so basically it's just a KYC process for your company where you would normally do your ID. It's just that making your company legitimized to the financial market industry. Why is an LEI number required? A legal entity identifier, that's what it stands for. A number of code is required to ensure a more transparent financial markets. The initiative was created after the 2008 global financial crisis, hoping to avoid any future global economic shocks at severity. The LEI number is now essentially for legal entities that operate within today's financial system and copy LEI record with contain public information accessible through a global database. Okay, so now how we basically set it up. If you want to go read through all of that again, go ahead. Basically, when I say apply for LEI number, there are different plans. So you have to pay this on a yearly, 3-yearly, or 5-year basis, and the total will obviously be there. It's not too expensive. $75 for a year is not too bad. Obviously, complete the form, and then the next steps will follow. It's pretty simple and straightforward after that, but you want to register that. Then take it to your broker to get assistance. As I said, most people, if you're not dealing with an IB or someone that can help you get this set up, it becomes even a longer process. I just recently helped one of my students set up this because they wanted the long process. It took them about 3 weeks to get everything sorted. If you're doing it alone and trying to contact broker, back and forth, it can take up to a month, 2-month process, maybe even longer. So essentially, if you want to get this set up the right way, even if you are setting up, the original, just the individual account, but setting up your business account with it, it still helps to have someone there. And that's why I always recommend, going through HFM. As I said, I've done this with other different brokers in the past, as I was shifting to different brokers, as I was feeling which is the best option for me. HFM was obviously the easiest process and most transparent, and obviously I prefer their spreads, etc. So hope you guys learned something in this video. Again, I'll leave all the links in this description, and make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I have a lot of new videos that are coming out that is going to be valuable to you, that most people don't even answer the questions for. So you guys have questions, I want to answer them for you on this video and try and make it as simple as possible. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.